Also, earlier you heard from the representatives of DC Water that workforce and capacity is really needed in there. So this is about humans there. But you need all those 5 different sectors in there, and 2 of them are represented by the gentlemen of the panel here today. And that is about governance and also about finance. And I would like actually to ask you a question, and I would like to start with you, Professor Abdullah AlKhudhiri. And that is, I would like to hear from you what you think is the most outstanding innovation related to water that either succeeded or failed? Or what was, in your opinion, the main driver or bottleneck in the implementation of this innovation?
Okay, السلام عليكم. صباح الخير. شكرا على الدعوة وشكرا على حقيقة الحضور هذا المؤتمر الجميل أو الرائع. In fact, my colleagues encouraged me to use my Arabic. I prepare my talk in English, but I saw my colleagues using their Arabic, so thank you for them to encourage me to use my Arabic. Regarding بالنسبة للإجابة على السؤال اللي طرحه المقدم، أنا في اعتقادي أن تقنية الريفيرس اوسموسيس أو الRO هي أعظم تقنية مرت على صناعة التحلية. ليس تقنية التناضح العكسي أو الريفيرس اوسموسيس لم تغير فقط استهلاك الكهرباء، وليس أيضا إنتاج الكميات الكبيرة للمياه، بل أيضا أثرت بشكل مباشر على سعر تكلفة إنتاج المياه. على سبيل المثال، التقنية الحرارية تستهلك من الطاقة من 13 إلى 7 كيلووات أور للمتر المكعب الواحد، بينما تقنية الريفيرس اوسموسيس أو الRO تستهلك فقط 3 كيلووات أور للمتر المكعب الواحد. أنا في اعتقادي أن الرقم هذا أصبح قديم. الهيئة السعودية للمياه كسرت الرقم هذا ووصلت إلى 2.29 كيلووات متر كيوب 2.29 كيلووات أور بير متر كيوب. حقيقة إنجاز عظيم يحسب للهيئة، ونحن حقيقة نتطلع لإنجازات أكبر وأكثر من الهيئة خلال التعاون مع الجهات البحثية الأخرى في المملكة. إذا تكلمنا من ناحية الإنتاج، تعتبر محطة رابغ المرحلة الثالثة كأكبر محطة تحلية أو كإحدى أكبر محطات التحلية التي تعمل بالتناضح العكسي في العالم، تنتج 600 ألف متر مكعب في اليوم. أيضا كذلك محطة الجبيل المرحلة الثالثة أيضا تنتج 500 ألف متر مكعب في اليوم. بالإمكان ربط التقنيات بعضها مع بعض، وبالنظر إلى محطة رأس الخير. رأس الخير تنتج، طبعا محطة رأس الخير هايبريد ديسالينيشن تكنولوجيز، ريفيرس اوسموسيس وأظن أنها MSF. كلا التقنيتين تنتج حوالي 1,000,000 متر مكعب، كمية مهولة من المياه الصالحة للشرب. كل هذا باستخدام تقنيات أو تقنية التناضح العكسي. بناء على كمية الطاقة المستهلكة وكمية الماء المنتج، هذا أثر بشكل كبير على تكلفة إنتاج المياه. التكلفة نزلت من $1.5 للمتر المكعب إلى تقريبا 50 سنت أو 50 سنت للمتر المكعب. هذا يعني يجعلنا فعلا نقف يعني أمام تقنية رائعة لها إسهامات كبيرة في توفير المياه الصالحة للشرب. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this nice example of remote osmosis and how you could bring down the price in there, which is a very important element in there. I would like to move on to the second speaker with the same question, and that is to Mr. Denis Bilodeau. What was for you the innovation that either struck you because of its excellency, but maybe also of the problems that you encountered?
Yes, and thank you very much. My name is Denis Bilodeau, and I'm the president of the Orange County Water District. I wanted to thank His Excellency and his delegation for inviting me here today. He recently visited us in California. At the Orange County Water District, we have constructed the largest indirect potable reuse project in the world. We produce 500,000 cubic meters of fresh water every day from treated wastewater. The primary reason behind our success in public acceptance of this project was a very robust outreach that we did over 10 years to get the public comfortable with the fact that they would be, in fact, drinking reclaimed wastewater. That was a big hurdle that we had to overcome. Also, we began that process back in 1998, and as a result, we received broad support from legislators, professionals in the health and science community, elected officials, civic groups, the business community, and members of the public. We had to directly address the yuck factor with the public and explain to them why we were going to treat wastewater as opposed to desalination. In our case, treating wastewater was much more inexpensive than ocean desalination. Our core message was, it tastes like water because it is water. And this is what helped us overcome any public opposition to the manufacture and use of this water. And we learned that broad public awareness would create acceptance of using treated wastewater to refill our groundwater basin. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for this, I think, very nice addition in bringing the public awareness, which is a very important part, maybe less for desalination, but for sure in treated wastewater, and using that also for drinking water purposes is a big step that needs to be taken in a number of cases. And probably we will see that more and more. I will go to the next speaker, and I would like to ask Professor Trevor Bishop what your innovation is that appeals to you.
Well, thank you, Eddie, and a very good morning to everyone here today, delegates and esteemed organisers. It's a great pleasure to be here with the World Bank group today. What's important is that when asked the question, what's your best or most ambitious innovation, there's a lot to choose from, and that's very good news. But of course, we need so much more. But the one I've chosen relates to non-revenue water. In the UK, non-revenue water is a very important issue, both for water scarcity and sustainability and economics, but also for customer trust. If we're going to ask customers to work with us to save water in the home and in their businesses, we need to make sure water companies are also doing all they can to reduce non-revenue water from their networks as well. So we've reduced non-revenue water by 43% since privatisation, and we have an ambition across the country to reduce water by another 50% by 2050. Now that's a very big change in non-revenue water. Of course, we're doing lots of work on find and fix, smart networks, digitally enhanced networks, and they're all delivering results. But inevitably, with non-revenue water, it is affected by the law of diminishing returns. We fix the easy leaks first, the bursts and the big leaks that we can find and fix economically quite simply. But what we're left with increasingly are quite small leaks and seeps on the network, which whilst very small, add up to a very substantial amount of water, and that's where we need innovation. So the innovation that I've chosen is injecting coagulants into public water supply, so drinking water supply directly, which then fills these small gaps and reduces that leakage. So this technology has been trialled by two of our water utilities, Northumbrian Water and Thames Water, very successfully, working with regulators and international colleagues to understand how do you do this, which is a very strange concept for us in the UK, to think about injecting materials, food-grade materials, into the network to fix leaks. So there's no chemical reaction. It's really these particles mesh together. They're food grade, so there is no chemical reaction. So far, this technology has a 90% success rate. The success lasts for about a year to 18 months, but because it's so cheap, because it's so easy, because there's so little disruption, it's something you can repeat on the network where you're not quite ready to repair that main because it still has an economic life. So you can extend the economic life of that network. So it reduces interruptions, it reduces repair time, it reduces cost, it increases workers' safety by not having to dig up roads and interrupt water supply to customers, and it's much, much more sustainable. So it's really a great innovation, and I don't know where it will go, but at the moment it's showing every opportunity to have tremendous benefits across our network, and I hope maybe internationally as well.
Yes, thank you very much. I think what you can do with non-revenue water and how you can solve that, but also aging infrastructure, I think is a big problem that we're facing in many, many countries. And I think it will be a big challenge also if you look at the investments that are required in there and innovations to reduce those investments, I think are a very nice innovation. I would like to move on to a second round of questions, and I would like to start actually again with you, Mr. Bishop. And if you look around, then you're looking also in a way how you can find investment and financing. Privatization and the use of comparative competition has been relied upon for many years to drive continued progress and innovations. So that's with companies seeking competitive advantages. And that is a way how you could stimulate actually innovations and reduce the price. In the UK, and the UK is known for that, privatization of the water utilities has taken place there for a long time. But can you tell us something about if this strategy is still favored in the UK or if there's a change?
Okay, so thank you, Eddie, and good morning again. So as many of you, I'm sure, will be aware, the majority of customers in the UK are served by fully privatised utilities. So the public element sits within government and the regulators of those privatised utilities. Because these privatised companies are monopolies, some of the normal commercial incentives to drive innovation don't exist. So when I was a regulator, and regulators still use a concept called comparative competition, which replicates the commercial pressures that businesses face and drives them to continually want to improve and innovate. So that's very good. But what we noticed about 5 years ago is that mode of regulation was driving a level of innovation. But because of its nature and the timescales involved, it was relatively short-term in nature. There was relatively a low-risk appetite by the utilities. They didn't see the benefits that we would have liked them to have seen. And also, because it was comparative competition, the utilities tended not to collaborate with each other. They saw themselves in competition with each other. Sometimes that's good, but on some innovations, you very much need that collaboration. And also they tended not to have a very well-developed relationship with the supply chain, with academia and others. So I was in the economic regulator at that point, and one of the things we decided to do was to create a specific innovation fund. It was relatively small, it was about £500 million, but it was quite important. And what it was all about was really to help bring together companies with the issues they wanted to solve, regulators, government, the supply chain, academia, and to create seed funding for innovations which looked high risk but with high potential, but also to bridge various gaps in the cycle of development of innovation, from ideas to development to implementation to commercialization to wider use. And also to build that relationship with academia. It has been very successful. We're now building that program to include specific elements where we require innovation, particularly on water efficiency in the home. And £100 million has been set aside to develop campaigns, communication and engagement to help people understand the water narrative and the actions they can take for a more sustainable future, which is what customers in the UK say they want. Hopefully that's helpful, Eddie.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that also makes a very nice bridge to what you were saying in your first question, Mr. Bilodeau. And I know that in California, as in many other regions, the water challenges are big. And I've been there maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I received actually a very small token that helped me to shower for a shorter time, which is, I think, one of the things that you also referred to. But could you say something more about how the public and I think public authorities can help to stimulate the public to be willing to allow new maybe reductions of water use, also from your experience?
Yes. So in our case, the groundwater replenishment system is a clear example of how the public sector plays a critical role in accelerating the introduction of innovation. And in terms of the main drivers of that, we, the Orange County Water District, we had a need for replenishing our groundwater basin. Our partners in the project, which is the Orange County Sanitation District, which is right next door to us, they had a need to construct a new ocean outfall pipeline. So what we did is we got together and built the project together, and this negated their need to build an ocean outfall pipeline. And these discussions started taking place in 1997. And then over a 10-year period, the outreach took place, the design, the construction, it opened in 2008. One of the major challenges we had was there wasn't a regulatory framework in place from the state and federal government for consuming this type of water. So we had to work closely with those entities to develop those regulations. And then we went about our campaign to convince the public that in fact consuming this type of water was safe and met all health standards.
Thank you very much. And of course, all those things, they start actually with the innovations. And Professor AlKhudhiri, KACST is of course a front runner on coming forward with new innovations. But besides investors that are willing to support the early development of innovations, there's also a need for support in the implementation of innovations in society. And you just also heard about that you need regulators that allow you to introduce new innovations there. But can you indicate what support from the public sector is most crucial to make the implementation of an innovation a success?
Okay. لنجاح أي ابتكار أو فكرة بحثية حقيقة تحتاج إلى 3 مراحل. المرحلة الأولى هي وضوح وسرعة التشريعات. سرعة الحصول على الموافقات يعجل في تطبيق التقنية. النقطة الثانية التي هي الدعم المالي المبكر. عادة تكون الابتكارات والأفكار البحثية صعوبتها تكمن في المرحلة الأولى، فدعمها ماليا في المرحلة الأولى يعجل من دخولها للسوق. النقطة الثالثة وهي الببليك سيكتور أو القطاع العام، هو دائما الكاستمر الأول أو المستفيد الأول من التقنية. لماذا القطاع العام هو المستفيد الأول؟ لأنه لديه القدرة على تحمل المخاطرة في مراحل الفكرة الأولية. دائما نقول أو نختم الإجابة أن التقنية مع التشريعات مع متطلبات السوق دائما تمشي في سياق ونسق واحد. متى ما اختل السياق هذا اختلت المعادلة. فبالضرورة أن الثلاث المعطيات هذه تكون أو تتماشى بتسارع واحد.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think that what you're saying is also what you see in a lot of cases, that the public sector plays indeed a very important role, both on taking financial risks, but also on creating a possibility to really implement that. And sometimes you have to be very innovative about how to do that. So my last question for you would be, can you describe in one sentence what transformative innovation related to water would help you in your work the most?
اوكي وجهة نظري استخدام الذكاء الاصطناعي في صناعة التحلية ومعالجة المياه. استخدام الاي اي او الذكاء الاصطناعي يستطيع ان يتنبأ بالمشكلة قبل حدوثها، مراقبة جودة المياه، وايضا المساهمة في توفير الطاقة.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to move on to the second panelist here, Mr. Bilodeau. What would be that transformation for you?
Oh, in terms of the Orange County Water District, I'd say that the most transformative thing that could be done is streamlining permitting and regulatory reviews through a unified framework that shortens timelines while maintaining compliance.
Okay, thank you. That's a challenge, I think. And Mr. Bishop, what would be the transformative innovation in your case?
Okay, thank you. So one of the things I do is I chair infrastructure planning and delivery group, building reservoirs, transfers, etc. But also we're doing reuse as well. And I think the most transformative sort of technology that I'd really like to see is something that enables us to start to think about semi-closed loop systems for water. That's really what we need, whether that be graphene or electroconductive technology, etc. We need that technology more and more in the future, I think, for those semi-closed loop systems that can deal with PFAS and conservative contaminants in a better way than we currently do.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's indeed an additional challenge that I think we're facing in the water sector at the moment. And I do hope that all the prize winners that we have seen before our session here, I think with the prize that came out and the innovations that are coming forward there, I hope there will stimulate actually those new innovations. And then I do think that the public sector plays a very big role in how to forward those innovations indeed into practice and creating the possibilities in investments so that they can be outskilled and taken up. I would like to ask for a big applause actually for my panelists, and I would like to thank you very much for all your answers. Thank you.
Hopefully we're off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the panelists for this insightful session.